Have you ever felt like people see you differently as you get older? It's not just about the gray hair or the wrinkles. There's something deeper going on. Maybe your well-meaning words are misinterpreted, or it feels like your wisdom isn't valued like it used to be. Have you noticed that relationships shift as the years go by, and some people seem to pull away or misunderstand you? It's confusing, and at times, it can be painful. But what if understanding these shifts could give you the power to handle these challenges with grace and confidence? In this video, we're diving into 9 surprising reasons why people might secretly feel disconnected from you as you age. And more importantly, we'll show you how to turn these moments of tension into opportunities to reconnect and strengthen your relationships. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. 1. The challenge of being misunderstood. As the years accumulate, you may begin to notice an unsettling shift in the way your conversations unfold. The words you once spoke with ease and warmth no longer seem to resonate in the same way. What you intended as thoughtful, helpful advice is received as harsh criticism. A joke that once lightened the room now falls heavy and silent like a stone sinking into an ocean of misunderstanding. You might find yourself asking, why does it feel like the world is speaking a language I can no longer grasp? And when you long for deeper, more meaningful exchanges, it can sting when others seem to pull away or avoid engaging on that level. It's a disheartening feeling, watching your carefully chosen words miss the mark, wondering why the people around you seem so distant or disconnected. Have you ever paused, feeling a quiet ache, and asked yourself why your well-meaning intentions don't always land the way you hope? Or why some of your most honest, heartfelt expressions seem to drift into a void, leaving nothing but an uncomfortable silence? The truth is that the divide often lies not in malice or misjudgment, but in the invisible chasm of generational differences. The wisdom you've accumulated over the years has led you to cherish clarity and directness and to value honesty and straightforwardness as tools of connection. But for younger generations, who have been shaped by different experiences and a faster-paced world, tone, perception, and subtlety carry more weight than you might expect. Their way of communicating may focus more on nuances, emotions, and indirect cues. This doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. Not in the slightest. It simply means that the tapestry of our lives, woven through decades of experience, is unique to each of us. You've lived through moments of profound learning, triumphs, and struggles that have shaped the way you view and speak about the world, while younger people navigate a landscape that is rapidly evolving in ways you might not always understand. Misunderstandings can stack up, leaving both sides feeling frustrated, misunderstood, or even invisible to each other. The quiet weight of these moments can lead you to question your worth or wonder if your voice has lost its place in a world that's changing faster than you ever imagined. But here's the most comforting truth of all. These gaps, these divides, can be bridged. They don't have to be the end of meaningful connection. They can be the beginning of something even more profound. It starts with a simple yet powerful shift. The willingness to listen. To listen with your heart, not just your ears. Rather than rushing to offer advice, ask. Ask questions with genuine curiosity, like, how do you see it? Or, what's your perspective? These small yet profound acts of inquiry show that you are not just speaking to be heard, but listening to understand. It speaks volumes about the respect and care you have for the person in front of you. And when misunderstandings arise, and they will, as they always do, don't shy away from them in frustration or embarrassment. Instead, approach them with tenderness and patience. Say, I didn't mean it that way. Let me try again. Those few words, spoken with a gentle heart, can turn moments of confusion into opportunities for healing, for deeper connection, for real understanding. Remember, communication isn't about being flawless. It's about showing the people around you that you care enough to try, and that you are still willing to grow, learn, and bridge the spaces between your heart and theirs. It's about giving the gift of connection, even when it feels like the world is speaking a language you can no longer decipher. In the end, that's what matters most. The effort, the empathy, and the unspoken truth that you care deeply and unconditionally. 2. The pain of feeling overlooked. As the years pass, there's an unspoken yearning that lingers in the heart, the desire for recognition. It's not just a craving for praise or admiration, but a deeper, more profound need to be seen, to have the love, the effort, and the wisdom you've poured into others truly acknowledged. After all, you've given so much, often without hesitation, without expecting anything in return. But as time moves forward, there are moments when it feels as though your contributions go unnoticed, like ripples in the vast ocean of life that fade into silence. It's the pain of feeling invisible, especially when it's those closest to you who seem to be too preoccupied with their own lives to recognize the sacrifices you've made, the love you've freely given, or the quiet strength you've provided for so many years. There are times when family members, caught in the whirlwind of their daily struggles, forget to stop and see the quiet heroism in their sacrifices. They are swept up in their world, leaving you in the background, a constant presence they may no longer consciously appreciate. And friends. What happened to the days when they would look to you for guidance, when your words mattered, when your experiences had weight? It's almost as if they've moved on, perhaps unknowingly, no longer valuing the insights and wisdom you've gained over a lifetime. It's heart-wrenching to think about, isn't it? Why do those you love most seem to be looking elsewhere, turning away from the very person who has always been there for them? But I want to remind you of something profoundly important. This feeling of being overlooked doesn't mean you've lost your value. It doesn't diminish the incredible person you are or the life you've led. Often, people become so entangled in their own lives, facing their struggles, chasing their dreams, that they forget to pause and reflect on the steady, loving presence they've always been. In their rush, they fail to notice the quiet ways you've shaped their world. And yet, the sting of this neglect is undeniable. It cuts deep, especially when it comes from those you cherish most. To be ignored by the very people who should be closest to you feels like an emotional wound that lingers, impossible to forget. But here's the truth: your worth is not defined by their acknowledgement. Your life is a tapestry of experiences, rich with lessons, triumphs, and moments of growth that are valuable beyond measure, whether or not anyone sees them. You are not invisible. You are not less significant because they fail to notice. You are a living testament to resilience, to love, to the kind of quiet wisdom that is not always shouted from the rooftops but is felt in the warmth of a hug, in the words of advice offered at just the right moment, and in the understanding that only time can bring. If you yearn to reconnect, to be seen and heard again, take small, meaningful steps towards sharing your story. Perhaps tell your family or friends about a moment in your life, something that shaped you, something they may not know or fully appreciate. You may be surprised by how deeply they treasure hearing the paths you've walked, and how they long to understand the depth of the person you've become. At the same time, don't be afraid to gently remind them of what matters to you. Express your needs, your desires, and your hopes for connection. It's okay to say, "I'd love to share more about this. It's important to me." You don't have to demand their attention, but you can guide them back to the heart of what you've shared. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. In the quiet act of seeking connection without resentment, you may find that the bonds between you strengthen and that the people around you begin to see you in a new light. And, in the process, you'll also remind yourself of the incredible person you are. You are a person who has loved deeply, lived fully, and has so much to offer, regardless of whether others see it right now. Keep shining, quietly and powerfully, because your light is never truly hidden. 3. The weight of rumors and gossip. Have you ever felt the sting of knowing that people are whispering about you behind your back, twisting the truth into something unrecognizable? In tight-knit communities, whether within your family, among old friends, or even in the quiet corners of your neighborhood, gossip has a sneaky way of warping reality. The stories spread are often a far cry from the truth, painting a distorted image of who you truly are. It's maddening and deeply unfair, especially when these whispers start to shape how others perceive and treat you, leaving you feeling misunderstood and powerless. The weight of these falsehoods can feel like an invisible burden, dragging at your spirit. But why do people gossip? The truth is, gossip usually says more about them than it does about you. It's often a reflection of their insecurities, their inner turmoil, or perhaps their desperate need to create drama in a world that feels dull and unremarkable to them. Sometimes, it's rooted in jealousy, a sharp, painful emotion that makes people try to tear down what they can't understand or achieve themselves. At other times, it's born out of ignorance, when people judge your choices, your actions, or even your silence, without ever considering asking for your perspective. They might weave their assumptions into a narrative, without realizing the hurt they are causing by not seeking the truth. Dealing with gossip is a draining, often soul-crushing experience, leaving you wondering if you should just confront it or let it fade into the background. The emotional toll it takes on you is real. No matter how strong you are, those whispered words can seep into your thoughts, challenging your peace of mind. But here's the truth. No rumor, no matter how loud or insistent, can ever define your worth. Your character is built on a foundation far sturdier than any lie could ever hope to undermine. The people who truly see you, who genuinely understand who you are at your core, will never fall for the poisonous rumors swirling in the air. In the face of this, remember to remain steadfast. Stay calm. Stay true to yourself. Let your authenticity speak for itself, because confidence in who you are will always outweigh the noise of the world. If a false story reaches your ears, don't let it rattle you. It's okay to address it, but do so with dignity and grace. A simple, measured response, like, "I've heard what's being said, but it's not true, and here's why," can be enough to clear the air without stoking the fire further. However, not every rumor deserves your attention. Sometimes, the most powerful response is no response at all. Silence, when paired with self-respect, has a way of speaking volumes. Surround yourself with those who lift you, who celebrate your truth, and steer clear of those who feed on negativity and judgment. Gossip may try to chip away at your reputation, but it can never strip you of your inner strength. It can never diminish the person you are, deep down. At your core, you are untouched by the shallow chatter of those who don't know the real you. Keep walking in your truth, and let the world see you for the incredible person you truly are. 4. The burden of jealousy. Have you ever felt the weight of a subtle, unexplained tension when you're around certain people? That unshakable unease that seems to hang in the air, even though you haven't done anything to deserve it? It's not you, it's what you represent to them, a mirror reflecting their unspoken struggles, insecurities, and unmet desires. It could be your achievements, the depth of your relationships, or perhaps your quiet, unshakable confidence that somehow stirs a storm within them. In these moments, their unease has nothing to do with you, yet it feels like it's all about you. The root of their discomfort lies in a powerful, often invisible emotion: jealousy. A feeling that seeps in when they compare their reality to the life you seem to effortlessly live. Your financial success might echo the stress they feel over their financial instability. Your loving family dynamic could be a stark reminder of the loneliness or strained relationships they hide behind closed doors. What they see as your calm and collected nature might be a stark contrast to the inner chaos they are wrestling with. These feelings of envy can grow quietly, festering in the background, until they manifest in ways that are hard to ignore. In the cold shoulder, the passive-aggressive comments, or the barely hidden judgment in their eyes. Yet, it's important to recognize that their jealousy has little to do with your worth or actions. It's not your fault that their dreams feel out of reach, or that their sense of self feels threatened by the reflection of your success. Their envy is not a direct attack. It's the painful manifestation of their battles, the silent cry of unmet expectations and dreams left unfulfilled. However, that doesn't make it any less hurtful when you feel the sting of their indifference or dismissive words. It can shake you, leaving you questioning yourself, even though you know deep down it's not your burden to carry. How can you navigate these moments of discomfort with grace, without letting the weight of their jealousy tarnish your peace? The key lies in embracing humility, while still holding firm to the truth of your worth. Celebrate your triumphs with openness, but never with arrogance. Let your successes speak for themselves, but do so without the need for validation. Acknowledge the unspoken tension with kindness, not as a form of self-deprecation, but as a compassionate reminder that their envy doesn't define you. Offer a soft hand of support. Share a word of encouragement when you see an opening, or offer your advice without expectation. In doing so, you provide a lifeline for them, not to diminish your light, but to help extinguish some of the shadows that darken their heart. Most importantly, surround yourself with those who genuinely celebrate you, those who see your achievements as a beacon of hope, not as a challenge to their journey. These are the people who will inspire you to rise higher, while also lifting others along the way. By staying true to your authentic self, and by showing kindness and compassion to those who may not yet see the beauty of their path, you can navigate the silent burden of jealousy with inner strength and dignity. In this way, you can maintain your peace, protect your self-worth, and continue to shine brightly, even in the face of envy. 5. The clash of values. Have you ever found yourself in a quiet moment of reflection, perhaps sitting in the stillness of your home, feeling an ache in your heart as you watch the world change around you? It's as if the very values you've lived by, those deep-seated beliefs that have been shaped by decades of hard-won experience, are no longer seen as relevant, understood, or even respected by the younger generations. The things that once seemed so vital to your life, the importance of hard work, the strength of discipline, the deep-rooted bonds of family, and the unwavering respect for traditions, now seem to be slipping away, dismissed, or misunderstood in a world that moves faster and faster each day. In this ever-shifting landscape, you might feel as though you're standing on a foundation that no longer fits the world around you, or worse, like an outsider, forgotten and irrelevant in the very society you helped to build. This feeling is not just a small inconvenience. It's a deep, raw ache that can feel incredibly isolating. Your values are not mere opinions. They are the very essence of who you are, the guiding principles that have sustained you through life's darkest moments and its brightest victories. When those values are questioned, it's as if a part of you is being questioned. When someone dismisses the belief you fought so hard to nurture and protect, it can feel like an assault on your identity. The weight of years of experience, of all that you've witnessed and learned, is wrapped in those beliefs. To have them challenged or disregarded can feel like a rejection of you as a person. Your history, your sacrifices, and the wisdom that comes only with age. You've lived through struggles that others may never fully understand, through moments that shaped you, molded you, and taught you things that only time can teach. And yet, in the blink of an eye, those very lessons can seem irrelevant, out of touch with today's world. Meanwhile, the younger generation, full of hope and fresh perspectives, seems to be focused on values that appear to be in stark contrast to the ones you hold dear. Where you see the importance of stability, consistency, and respect for tradition, they see the value of innovation, flexibility, and individualism. Where you've built your life around sacrifice and duty to family, they often prioritize self-expression, independence, and autonomy. It's easy to feel like these contrasting priorities create an insurmountable gulf between you and them, a gulf that's not only about different opinions but about a fundamental misunderstanding of what matters. These differences can lead to frustration, miscommunication, and, if left unaddressed, resentment. It can feel as though the world is pulling further and further away from the things you value most, and you're left struggling to bridge a gap that seems wider than ever. But here's the truth. This tension doesn't have to lead to division. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it can hurt. But these differences don't need to become the defining feature of your relationship with the younger generation. Instead of seeing these moments as battles over who's right, try shifting your mindset. Think of these clashes not as obstacles, but as opportunities. Opportunities for connection, growth, and deeper understanding. It's essential to approach these conversations with patience, empathy, and most importantly, curiosity. When someone challenges your values, rather than immediately feeling defensive or rejected, try to lean into the discomfort with an open heart. Ask them, what is it about this perspective that speaks to you? What experiences have led you to see the world in this way? These questions, simple yet profound, can open doors to meaningful dialogue, ones that reveal not only the differences between you but also the shared humanity that binds you together. At the same time, don't be afraid to share your own story, the one that has shaped the very beliefs you hold so dear. Tell them about the struggles you've faced, the choices you've had to make, and the lessons you've learned along the way. Share the quiet moments that shaped you, the sacrifices that seemed small at the time but now stand as towering monuments to your character. Let them see the world through your eyes, understand the road you've walked, and the wisdom that has accumulated like precious stones over a lifetime. You may not convince them to adopt your beliefs, and that's perfectly okay. But by offering a window into your experiences, you allow them to understand where you're coming from, and more importantly, they'll come to respect the depth of your journey. In the end, the goal is not to win the argument or to make the other person see things your way. The goal is to find common ground, a space where both your values and theirs can coexist, where the differences don't drive a wedge between you, but rather enrich the relationship. You may not always agree, and that's the beauty of it. Diversity of thought, of experience, is what makes relationships rich and meaningful. Focus on what you share. Perhaps a commitment to kindness, a deep love for family, a desire to make the world a better place, or a shared passion for truth. These connections, no matter how small they seem, can form bridges over even the most significant divides. By embracing both your values and theirs, you create a space where respect, empathy, and mutual understanding can flourish. This kind of relationship doesn't just endure. It thrives because it is rooted in something far more important than being right. It is rooted in love, understanding, and the willingness to listen, learn, and grow together. And in doing so, you don't just preserve your values. You enrich your life and the lives of those around you. You build relationships that are not only based on mutual respect, but on a deep appreciation for the journeys that have brought you both to where you are today. These connections are timeless, transcending generational divides, and offering the hope that, even in a world that changes at an unprecedented pace, love and understanding will always remain. 6. Struggles with empathy. Have you ever felt as though the world is spinning at such a relentless pace that it seems no one truly sees you? Your struggles, your efforts, your quiet pain? Whether it's family members who rush through conversations, their attention drifting elsewhere, or strangers who glance at you with barely a flicker of recognition for the challenges you're facing, it can sometimes feel as though empathy is a rare and fleeting gift, one that's slowly vanishing. The absence of understanding isn't always born from cruelty or indifference, but that doesn't make the sting of invisibility any less sharp. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Why does this disconnect occur, and what can we do about it? It's often not intentional. In fact, it's usually a consequence of the overwhelming busyness of life. People become so consumed by their demands and routines that they forget to pause, slow down, and truly see the person in front of them. They overlook the quiet, unspoken stories etched on your face and in your actions. For younger generations, in particular, there can be a fundamental gap in understanding the unique challenges that come with aging. The slower, more deliberate movements, the health concerns that feel too personal to speak about, or the quiet grief and loss that often become companions as the years go by. This disconnect is not born from malice or lack of love. It is often simply a matter of perspective, a gulf between lives lived with different rhythms and experiences. To the outside world, you may appear independent, capable, and self-sufficient. Yet, behind that facade of strength lies a different reality. A quiet resilience that takes every ounce of energy to maintain. The emotional and physical toll of daily life, of adapting to new limitations and unexpected hardships, is often invisible to those around you. They may not see the toll it takes to get out of bed in the morning or to keep up appearances despite a heart weighed down by grief. When others fail to understand or dismiss your needs, it can create a distance that feels insurmountable, leaving you with a sense of isolation and frustration. So, what can be done to bridge this gap and restore empathy? The answer lies in communication. A calm, honest sharing of your experiences without guilt or blame. Rather than internalizing the hurt, try opening up with gentle vulnerability. Use words that help others understand your reality. I appreciate your help, it makes such a difference in my day, or I know I don't always say it, but your support eases my struggles. These small, simple expressions can soften hearts, helping others recognize the weight you're carrying and inspiring compassion where there may have been none before. At the same time, it's crucial to establish clear boundaries with those who refuse to acknowledge your needs. You have the right to surround yourself with people who truly see you. Not just the version of you that exists in their mind, but the person you truly are, with all your complexities, struggles, and wisdom. Seek out relationships where there is respect, where your experiences are valued, and where empathy flows freely between both sides. In the end, empathy is a two-way street. By practicing patience, understanding, and open communication, you set an example for others. You create space for them to step into your world and truly see you. And in doing so, you help cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections, ones that are rooted in compassion and mutual respect. Even in the face of life's challenges, it's these relationships that can offer the greatest solace and strength. 7. The quiet rivalries. Have you ever felt an unspoken tension with someone close to you? Someone who seems to quietly, almost imperceptibly, compete with you, even though there's nothing tangible to win? This isn't the kind of rivalry that screams for attention. It's subtle, often hidden beneath layers of casual conversation and shared experiences. And the truth is, it doesn't fade with age. It merely transforms, evolving into more muted forms. Perhaps it's a sibling who, without realizing it, makes comparisons between their relationships and yours, as if measuring love and connection on an invisible scale. Or a friend who, in the shadows of a conversation, quietly gauges their health, accomplishments, or successes against yours. The need to keep score, though silent, can persist like an invisible weight pressing down on the bond you share. But why does this happen? Why do these quiet rivalries linger, even when there's nothing at stake? At their core, they often stem from deep-seated insecurities. Insecurities about one's appearance, their place in life, or even their ability to stand the test of time. These insecurities can silently seep into relationships, causing people to subtly try to one-up each other, not out of malice, but out of a desperate desire to validate their self-worth. When someone feels threatened, whether by their own perceived shortcomings or by the passage of time, they might resort to these quiet acts of comparison, seeking reassurance through subtle competition. The real challenge, however, lies not in engaging with these rivalries, but in rising above them. In a world that constantly pushes us to measure ourselves against others, it is incredibly liberating to remember that the only competition you need to concern yourself with is the one you have with yourself. You are not in competition with anyone else's timeline, success, or choices. The key is to recognize the underlying emotions fueling this behavior: fear, insecurity, doubt, without internalizing them. Instead of taking offense, step back and view the situation with compassion. This is not about you. It's about the other person's struggle. Sometimes, the simplest act of empathy can break the cycle of rivalry. A genuine compliment, a question about their own journey, can shift the focus from comparison to connection. Asking, "That sounds really impressive. How did you manage that?" gently redirects the conversation away from competition and toward mutual respect and understanding. This small, thoughtful gesture can dissolve the tension, transforming an unspoken rivalry into an opportunity for bonding. And if, despite your efforts, the subtle competition persists, it's okay to set boundaries. You can remain kind, compassionate, and supportive, without allowing yourself to become entangled in someone else's need to compare. You are not obligated to play a game that isn't yours to begin with. By staying true to your path, focusing on your growth, and maintaining your self-respect, you can gracefully navigate these quiet rivalries, preserving the peace in your relationships while refusing to be drawn into a race that doesn't belong to you. 8. The fear of being forgotten. As the years unfold and you move further along life's journey, a profound question often lingers quietly in your heart. Will anyone remember me when I'm gone? It's a haunting fear, one that sneaks in uninvited during quiet moments, leaving you feeling small and invisible. The idea of fading into oblivion can be overwhelmingly isolating, especially when those around you seem to be swept away by their own lives, caught up in their struggles, joys, and ambitions. You've spent decades giving love, offering wisdom, and extending care, investing parts of yourself into the world and others. And yet, there's a deep, almost primal longing to be seen, to be remembered, to know that your existence has left some kind of mark on the hearts of those you hold dear. It's not vanity that drives this desire. It's a deep, unspoken need for validation, a quiet yearning to feel that your life has mattered. You want to believe that your presence has made a difference and that the love you've so generously given will echo in the lives of others long after you're gone. But, as the days pass, you realize that the legacy you envision isn't always as tangible or as grand as you'd hoped. The achievements, the accolades, the milestones, they often seem to fade in time. What remains, what truly endures, are the moments that are quieter, more intimate. The small acts of kindness you've shown, the laughter shared, the stories told, the love you've woven into the fabric of the lives you've touched. These are the things that live on, not in monuments or public recognition, but in the hearts of those who remember the depth of your humanity. They live in the way people recall your warmth, your support, your unwavering presence when they needed someone to listen, or when your gentle encouragement lifted them in their darkest hours. Even if you feel unnoticed, even if you sense that the world has moved on without you, take solace in the fact that your legacy is alive in the quiet, everyday moments. It's in the memories you've created through small gestures, your unwavering devotion, your willingness to show up time and time again for the people who matter most. So, if you feel the weight of being overlooked, remember that your legacy doesn't need to be validated by the world's applause. It thrives in the enduring love you've given and in the quiet, yet powerful impact you've had on the lives of those around you. Keep showing up for those who matter most. Continue to share your wisdom, your compassion, and your love, and trust that in doing so, your legacy will flourish in ways you could never have imagined. The world may not always recognize the magnitude of your spirit, but those who know you, those whose lives you've touched, will carry you with them always. And that, in the end, is more than enough. 9. The unspoken fear of dependency. As you grow older, the intricate web of relationships that once felt so secure can begin to fray in ways you never imagined. The independence and self-sufficiency that once defined you. Your ability to stand on your own 2 feet, to make your own decisions, to carve out a life filled with accomplishment, were once sources of immense pride and personal strength. Yet, as the years pass, the undeniable reality of aging begins to settle in, bringing with it physical limitations, health concerns, and the quiet, inevitable need for more assistance. These changes, so subtle at first, then increasingly noticeable, can stir a deep well of discomfort, not just within yourself, but in the hearts of those around you. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. The fear of becoming dependent, of needing help when you once gave it so freely, can cast a long shadow over your relationships. For some, this shift may be hard to bear. The people who once relied on your strength and wisdom may, in turn, find themselves grappling with an uncomfortable new reality. The role reversal where they now feel responsible for your care. This fear can manifest in ways that are difficult to articulate but impossible to ignore. Reluctance to offer help, subtle emotional distance, or even frustration that your once strong, self-sufficient self now requires assistance. It's not easy for anyone involved. The simple truth is that aging stirs up fears for all parties. Fears about losing control, about becoming burdensome, about the fragility of time itself. But here's the most important thing you must remember. Needing help is not a weakness. It's not a reflection of your value, your dignity, or your worth. It is simply a chapter of life that every single person will face in time. It is not an end but a transition, a natural progression that invites a deeper understanding of who we are and who we can still be. Yes, it is uncomfortable. Yes, it can be frightening. But it is also an opportunity for connection, vulnerability, and mutual growth. To navigate this transition with grace, approach it with openness and courage. Let yourself be vulnerable. Share your needs, your fears, and your desires with those you trust. It's okay to admit that you need support. It doesn't diminish you, it elevates your humanity. Open the door to honest conversations, to find solutions that allow you to maintain your dignity, your self-respect, and your sense of independence. Your worth is not tied to the help you need, but to the wisdom, love, and emotional strength you continue to offer, even as the years pass. Even in moments of vulnerability, there is still so much you can give. Through your stories, your experiences, your heart. Ask for help when it's needed, but never forget that you are still capable of contributing in ways that align with your unique strengths. Embrace the beauty of interdependence. By doing so, you will create an environment of mutual respect and understanding, where those who care for you feel not burdened, but blessed to help. They will know they are not rescuing you. They are simply walking with you through the next chapter of life. And in that space of shared care, love, and mutual respect, you will preserve the dignity that is yours by right, and deepen the bonds that tie you to the people who matter most. As we reflect on the delicate balance between independence and the need for support, I hope this video has offered some valuable insights into the unspoken fears that often accompany aging. We've explored how relationships evolve and how embracing vulnerability can strengthen the bonds we share with those around us. So, I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned today that you feel ready to bring into your own life? Please, share your thoughts and experiences with us in the comments below. What's a practice or mindset shift that stood out to you? Remember, it's never too late to make small changes that can have a profound impact on your well-being and relationships. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support means the world, and it helps us continue to bring more content that matters to you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.